Hello, and welcome everyone to another episode of Dragon's Breath, the last one of the year. Before we get into tonight's episode, I need to push that button again. Not working? Is anyone getting that? Oh, there it is.
Sure am.
A second to come through to me on my end, even though I'm the closest. But we'll work with it. Before we get into tonight's adventure, I need to go through a couple of credits to give thanks to all those who provided assets that we're using to make this adventure as great as it is. Firstly, Forgotten Adventures at forgotten-adventures.net or at FRGTN or Adventures on Twitter, who provided map assets. Ian Fisher, or also known as Tabletop RPG Music at patreon.com/tabletop RPG Music. You can find them at TTRPG Music on Twitter. Music and ambiance. Michael Galfy, whom you can find at youtube.com/Michael Galfy and patreon.com/Michael Galfy, or on Twitter with the username? Yeah, that works. Username at Michael Galfy for music and ambiance. A huge thank you to Rictus, whom you can find at Art of Rictus on Twitter for providing player character art, and a huge thank you to Jeff at Jeffadath on Twitter for being the editor of all these videos that you're seeing if you're watching this on the YouTube. This streamed adventure is unofficial fan content permitted under the fan content policy, not approved or endorsed by Wizards. Portions of the materials used are property of Wizards of the Coast, copyright Wizards of the Coast, LLC. So, let's see, who am I going to pick on this week? We had Seren last week, right? So.
No, we had me last week and me the week before.
Was it actually
I'll
the
do
week
it this
before as
time.
well?
This one's fairly easy, so I'm sure my addled brain can do it. Plants everywhere. We wandered into this logging camp, and there were just corpses everywhere, seemingly dying to mysterious means. After a bit of investigation, we found, I don't know his name, but he's hanging out over there in that cabin. And
Wester.
yeah. So he seemed pretty scared and was like, oh no, they're coming. And no sooner had we opened the door that there was this plant monstrosity and a bunch of zombified mushrooms. Some sort of spore disease. And now a lot of the corpses are animating. So we're fighting zombie mushrooms, or zushrooms, if you will. And we are currently in heated combat with the Spore King and his band of merry men.
That was really good. Thank you. An amazing recap to last session. And we were, as I recall, in the midst of combat. So, let me push this button right here. And it'll probably take a second because of the delay between me pushing the button and it actually activating on the different platforms. But any second now, our music's gonna creep on in. Any second now. If any of you got it, I'm not getting it.
Yeah, I got it.
Yep.
Oh, I've got it now. There we are. Again, me the latest. Who knows why. So, top of the round, we have someone whom I believe is ready for their action, has been since the last session. That is... Oh, are you not top of the round? You're most of the way down the round. I thought you were top. My bad. But taking over for Seren is... Jay.
Yes. Wait, what?
Seren
Aren't we at the top?
Yeah, we're at the top of the round. Seren is 19 on initiative order. Fridge was 19 as well. The West guy had a 14 as well as Owen. One of the enemy creatures rolled the same as Junior but had a higher dex. Some of these are all dead. And it's you and 11.
Yeah, sorry. Am I misremembering? Wasn't it my turn?
Yeah, you have the 19. I'm looking at the combat tracker now. It says Sildan's at the top.
That is weird, because I'm looking at it and it says Seren is at the top with Sildana.
I know I was at the top of the round, because remember we were going to start a new round? And I was like, and I was at the top of the round, and I was like, oh, no. You're like, oh, this is a good place to call it, because it's top of the round. And I was like, no, let me throw my grenade. And we were like, nah, screw it, because it'd be weird if only I got to go, and then it was the second person in order.
Huh. Okay.
Does anybody else remember that?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. I remember you
This
being
must
top of the
be
round.
some-
Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'm initiative 11 because when I was syncing D&D Beyond today, just to make sure it would work, I randomly threw out an initiative roll.
Right.
Just to make sure that it... And I guess I rolled an 11 on that random roll that meant nothing. So that's why I'm 11.
Okay, so I'll just put you at 20. I can't remember
Cool,
exactly
thanks.
what it was. but
Okay,
I'll put
that
you
makes
back up
sense
to the
now.
top. And all good. Okay, so top of the round. It wouldn't be one of these streams without a little bit of a hiccup at the start. Top of the round, Sildan, take it away.
I throw my magical dodecahedron. And to save time, I have already mapped out. I think this hits who I need to hit. Right? It hits these two and Mr. Spore.
Yes, while missing Junior.
Oh, does it? Okay, good. I just kind of drew it. Okay, so any creature in that radius needs to make a con saving throw against my spellcaster DC or be petrified until the end of its next turn. And I'd really like this Archspore not to go. So I already know that he's going to fail that saving throw. I'm using my second portent, which was a 3. So he gets a 3 on his saving throw and is petrified.
It's a what saving throw?
A con saving throw.
Con. He still adds his modifiers to that, right?
I don't believe so.
Because
No, maybe he
it's
does.
the roll of the dice that you determine, not the final outcome, right? So
Yeah, let me just confirm, but
while
think
you're
you're right,
doing
you
that,
have
I'm gonna
them.
roll left to right the other
The other
ones.
two?
Yeah.
eh,
So starting
And,
with this guy here, on saving throw, normal. Oh, that's a natty one.
all right.
Starting off good, just like the stream did. Let's go. And then the other creature here, whose name I almost divulged. That's an nat-20. I mean, you get some bad, some good.
Uh-huh.
So he succeeds, or it succeeds. This one fails though, so he is petrified till the end of his next turn. The Shroomite would, well, not the Shroomite, damn it, I did it anyway. Wop wop.
And yeah, it still adds its modifiers.
Yeah. But regardless, the 3 is low enough that this guy is also petrified until the end of his next turn.
Yeah.
But it's worth knowing for future enemies you might come across, that's all.
Yeah.
Cool. Very good use of 2 skills that you have there. Anything else for your turn?
I should probably back up. Oh, well, I don't want to back up behind Fridge. That's kind of not great. What do I got from a 5, 10? Oh, 5. Oh, I hate that. All right, well, no, I'll stay put.
Alright, so bravely you pull this thing out of your pouch, find the little knock on it before where you can just about push this indent on it. It starts having a little whirring, humming sound in your hand as you feel it vibrate more and more, and you just thump. And you see this blinding flash for a split second, and it clears from your vision almost instantaneously. But you see the creature in front of you starts to seize up and freezes in position as it's reaching out for you. The other creature here seems to have shrugged it off, and the big bad's now, all of its vines have stopped whipping about and seems to also be petrified. Very nicely done.
Perfect. Yeah, I think so. That's it for my turn. Can you delete my templates just so they're not like all over the battlefield?
Yes, I can. Templates
Thank you.
plural? Is there another one I should
Well, just there should be like a delete all button. There's one hanging out up here.
That is Sarah.
Oh no, wait, we need that. That's
Yeah.
Saren's for the yeah.
Speaking of, Saren's turn.
Okay, perfect. Well,
In your best
I
British
imagine-
accent, if you please.
I don't think. Let me go to Saren's page. I don't think Saren has used all of the slots. I think Saren can Hunter's Mark. Saren hadn't Hunter's Marked, had she? Any?
I believe not, no.
these-
Not
No,
that
Not
I'm
that I can
aware of.
recall.
Okay, well, we might as well apply that to the... I would say the non-petrified would probably want to help take that out because it's still a combatant, so... Can I hit... Wow. I can hit that. Cool. That casts that. You'll need to mark off that that's a slot used, though, Leo. I can't do that.
Alrighty, let me get that up.
And then Saren will, yeah, take a longbow shot at it. I believe it's just that for the attack.
And that is a... Sorry, I'm trying to get
It's a-
her page up at the same time.
It's a 21.
21 will definitely hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, 1d8
Oh,
plus 1d6 for Hunter's Mark.
Have a look.
3.
Yeah, 1d6. That's a second
Cool.
level spell, so let me mark off one of those.
Oh, and then, as I recall from playing the last time, Saren is awesome and has Dreadful Strikes, which is another 1d4 psychic damage. Meaning that this mushroom thing takes 14 total damage.
14 points of damage. That is more than enough to do... enough to kill the creature. So, in one fell swoop, Heron... Heron?
Yes, Heron.
Okay. Wake up a little, Leo. Saren finds her mark on the creature, pulls back on the bow, aims, lifts the bow up ever so slightly to account for the fact that it's going through a window pane of glass and just zoop, leaving a small, tiny hole in the window. That
Wasn't this
somehow
shattered
shut
already?
and regrew itself. Yes, maybe. It's been a while. But that creature's
That's
dead.
okay. Yeah. Cool.
Anything else for Saren's turn?
Nope, this window sniper's perch seems good.
Fridge.
Bridge, knowing that the creature in front of Sildan is, as far as they're aware, the biggest and closest threat, is just gonna walk up to it and bonk with a sword.
Roll for both.
Because it's petrified, you will have advantage.
Yes.
Lovely. Oh, that was the short sword damage. That's helpful. Let's try that again. 21 to hit,
21 will hit, yeah.
and then did it actually show my damage? What did I roll?
6 damage.
Oh, then 6 points of damage, please. Thank you. And Fridge will shout over to Junior, get your ass over here and give Bard the inspiration.
Was
not
that
knowing that there's anything else around.
was that what you said to him? Like, come over here and inspire us.
Yeah,
okay.
why not? That's your inspirational quote. That's it. That's all you get. Sorry.
Cool. So I think that's a D6 for you now.
It is a D8 now.
A D8. Damn. All right. So a
Nice.
D8 to attack rolls and ability checks for you, Junior. Wester is still gonna cower. Owen, you're up.
Okay. So the only thing visible right now. Oh, that's big.
Yep.
That's concerning.
Yep.
Yup.
Should have seen that too.
How weathered is this thing in front of us looking?
Barely damaged. Or do you mean, sorry, do you mean this one or do you mean big guy?
This one, yeah. The one next to us.
Partially damaged. He seems to have a few sword marks in him, but other than that, untouched.
Other than that, he's fine though. Just gonna walk that one off.
It's a flesh wound.
I will give him a whack.
Roll for whack. Yo, that's whack.
This is with advantage, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's better. Oh.
Yeah.
Was that
Still,
the crit? Oh no, because it's not a crit, is it? Might be.
no.
Still, it all adds up. He is looking like he's halfway dead, or halfway alive.
Maybe a quarter of the way dead. I'm sorry. I should say I'm just reading the rest of petrification. He has resistance to all damage while petrified.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Completely misses his turn, but, you know, also
Well.
has resistance.
Good to note.
It's probably fine.
Also,
Or I was right here before.
actually, your damage appeared to have damaged him more than the sword swipes did.
Noted.
So I need to.
Was I?
That was a
You were
six
about there.
from
Yeah, you were there.
on that, then minus snakes, which was that. Okay, cool.
Sildan, what do you have equipped?
My fingers, I guess.
Okay, so you're casting, you're not using your bow.
No, I'm not using my because I pulled out the dodecahedron. Yeah.
In that case, I will step there. This thing has disadvantage against attacking anyone else but me until the start of my next turn.
Are we retconning the Thunder Gauntlets, or did you still do that?
No, that's part of the Thunder Gauntlets.
Oh, okay, cool, cool.
He just
Awesome.
used the rest of his movement to step up there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And yeah, you notice that the thunder damage seemed to do more to this, or what it should have to this creature while it's petrified. So, where is it?
Cool.
That creature is now no longer petrified. And Junior.
Hello. I believe I am in front of the big bad. Yes.
Yes.
Yep. And it just came off petrification.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Last time, Shay, you cast haste on me, I believe. How long does that last?
You are still hasted. It
Excellent.
lasts a good while, unless I drop concentration. It's a minute
Minute?
up to.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Quick,
So it's like
10
10 rounds.
quick out of game question. If I'm streaming this now, if I drag another screen in front of it, can Durf still see the screen I've dragged in front of it?
Yeah, he should be able to if you've picked application capture, but if you picked screen capture, then no, he'll see the screen you drag across. The best way is to just like test by putting something non.
Yeah. Durf, can you see that?
I cannot.
Great. Okay, thanks.
Quick reminder on what haste does. I believe I get another action,
Yeah.
but
Your speed is doubled. You get a +2 bonus to your AC. You have advantage on dex saving throws, and you get an additional action on each of your turns. And that action can be like attack, dash, get disengage, hide.
I see.
If I do that now, Durf, you should in a second be able to see the stream instead. So you should be able to see where you are.
Yes. Again.
Oh, you don't have vision of Junior, do you? Normally.
I do now. I've just moved it up to the screen. No, Fridge has no vision.
Would you prefer if I just gave you Junior vision for now?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I've just swapped screens over. It's cool.
Alright.
It's very loud though. You like mute the stream?
Can I mute the stream? It is muted.
Oh, the music just went like a million times louder. I can't do anything about it.
Oh god. Yeah, maybe just do that, Leo, and I'll change it back.
Yep. Configure permissions. Dave now has ownership of Junior.
Dangerous. That. Better?
Yes, excellent. Thank you very much. Alright, action swish wash.
Roll for swish. You know what? That one's a mouthful. Just slash the creature.
11 to hit.
Misses, or more accurately, you slice into the creature, but as previously last session, as you hit this creature, you sort of can't get through the rough, viney exterior of it.
Okay.
You lift up your offhand and you try to go in for a stab with that. Go ahead.
18 to hit.
And you're successful this time. You use both hands still with the other blade, and yet you sort of punch the blade into the creature. Go ahead and roll damage.
4 points of slashing.
Very good. And then your
And then my
extra
bonus action. Yes, please. To attack. Oh, even worse. 9 to hit.
Yeah, again, whatever it is, with your longsword, you just seem not able to slice into this guy in your offhand. Oh no, you can only do the offhand once, right? I forget how this works. It's new level 5 stuff.
If I use my attack, my action as an attack, I can use my bonus action as another attack with my offhand.
Yeah, but you already did that with your offhand, right? This
I
is
get
your
2
extra
actions because I'm level 5 now.
Yeah, but you don't have another bonus action.
No? Okay. Fair enough. Well, I'm going to use my other action to slash again. With haste.
Yeah, the hasted one. Go ahead. That is right,
22 to
right, guys?
hit.
I'm not misconfusing that, right? 22 hits.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Thank you, Snake. Go ahead and roll damage.
6 points of slashing.
Points of slashing damage. Very nice. As you see this small little like green ooze come out of the creature and then solidify over the wound that it had. The creature still looks injured. This is just flavor text.
I see. For the next action, 10 to hit. No, sorry, 16 to hit.
Where's this action coming from?
Because every time I use my attack, whenever I have an action, I do twice.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because this counts as a whole new action. Yeah, sorry. God,
Unless is that right?
Fighters, man. No, that's right, yeah.
5 points of slashing.
Did you roll for the attack?
Oh yeah, it was 16 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh wait, okay. Yeah.
Very nice. I'll get used to it, but by the next session, it's just...
It's
you
just
know,
so many actions. It's
Yeah.
like, wait, whoa, I have to stop.
That's illegal. But it's the fighter with the extra attack, and then your bonus action, then the hasted action, then the extra attack on the hasted action. I got it now.
Hell yeah.
Fucking fighters and mages, dude. Good combo. Anything else for your turn, Junior? I fucking hope not. Yeah, I'm just gonna stab him
Just gonna
again.
call over to, because I heard Fridge. I can't. There's a big bastard over here. She's in the way.
Yeah, never mind. Just saw him.
So, that's the end of your turn, and this creature is now no longer petrified, as you see. Oh no, I just removed him from the combat instead of unpetrifying him, but he had a -1 to his initiative, so let me just put that back in. -1. There we go. Move the status effect there. As you see now, he manages to break off the seized up effect that you had on him and gnarls towards you, still Dan. Top of the round, your turn.
Okay. Oh, jeez. I mean, I would like to do the one in front of me, but I don't think so. Can anyone remind me, just with spellcasting, if I cast at Archspore, am I taking any negatives because this thing is standing next to me?
I don't think so. I think it's only
That's-
firing a bow.
Okay,
Or-
that's 3.5e, is it? Or
Well, if it's a ranged spell attack, then it would be. If it's like, let me look it up. Ranged spell next to creature 5e. When you make a ranged attack with a weapon, a spell, or some other means, you have disadvantage on attack roll if you are within 5 feet of a hostile creature who can see
Okay,
you
so
and
yeah.
isn't incapacitated.
yeah, if it's because it'd be a ranged spell attack that I want to do. Okay, well, sorry, say again, Snake.
I'm reading.
Yeah, because I do want to do a ranged spell attack, so that would apply. However, doesn't this thing have disadvantage to attack me because I'm not Snake? Or rather, I'm not Owen?
I think that's what Owen is currently reading.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause
Sorry, what was the consensus?
on which?
previous
I
rule or
will
the
have
current question?
disadvantage, because...
That is not according to what I'm reading.
For what?
For spells, like spells, while you make a ranged spell attack, they don't count as attacks.
I'm
Like, there's a
seeing
difference.
aiming a ranged attack is more difficult when a foe is next to you. When you make a ranged attack with a weapon, a spell, or some other means, you have disadvantage on the attack roll,
Okay.
right?
If
And then
I'm-
my chromatic orb says it is a ranged spell attack. So would that not be a ranged attack with a spell?
Yes.
Or
that
is
would
this
be
the
a ranged
dumb
spell
5e
attack.
stuff where it's
It's-
like, whoa, the ranged spell attack isn't this? Okay, let's
I
just say it
just
is.
Grab the screenshot from Roll20.net, which takes from the D&D Compendium for 5e, and it says aiming a ranged attack is more difficult when a foe is next to you. When you make a ranged attack with a weapon, a spell, or some other means, you have disadvantage on the attack roll if you are within 5 feet of a hostile creature who can see you and isn't incapacitated.
So currently I have disadvantage if I did it. However, this creature has disadvantage on me if I move away. So I think I'm probably just going to do that.
Alrighty.
So I will, if I go down here, can I see the Archspore? Oh yeah, I still can. I'm going to go down here.
And it will take its attack of opportunity. As a
Yeah.
not smart creature, I also need to roll that at disadvantage. My bad, so take the lower of those two. 10.
It
Does a 10
misses.
hit? No, cool. So it goes to swipe at you, but having just managed to regain control of itself, doesn't quite hit its mark.
Cool. And given that Owen, Sildan's gonna go on a hunch because Owen hit this thing with his thunder gauntlets and it seemed to damage. So I'm going to do chromatic orb. I'm casting it at the archspore. First level. Boop. Fucking game.
An 8.
I rolled a 1.
Oh. It comes
Yeah.
out of an 8 though. Damn, your modifiers, dude. But an 8 does not hit. Go ahead and decide your failure, as that is a natty 1.
I don't really know what I could do with chromatic orb here. Other than, you know. I mean, it already whiffs.
I mean, I have an idea
let's
for
have a-
something if you've got nothing.
Sure, hit me with it.
Roll me a d20. Okay.
16.
So, in going to cast Chromatic Orb, you pull the diamond out of your pouch that you would use as the material component for this, and you fumble for a second and drop it to the ground. But it's close enough that you can still clearly see where it is.
Okay.
Sildan, you just as a reminder, you should have mirror image up.
I do, yeah. With 2 remaining, I believe.
You start with
Yes.
3.
I start with 3, and you popped
yeah.
one of them on me already.
Cool. I could remember popping one, but I couldn't remember whether mirror image gives you 2 or 3 clones.
Yeah.
All good.
And I think, yeah, that would be it for me then.
Saren.
Saren can see only this creature, and so therefore, bonus action will transfer Hunter's Mark, and then shoot it.
Go ahead and roll for the
So-
shot.
Yeah. 1d20 plus 8. 14 on it.
Sorry, 1 second. 8 hits, yeah. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. 16 damage to it.
Very nice. So as this creature manages to get itself moving again, swipes at you, as you're stepping back from it, and you fumble with your diamond, you see this arrow just come through the upper half of its torso, and it just falls limp to the ground.
Ow. Saren's a beast with that bow.
Question about the fumble.
Go ahead.
Does that also, I assume that still spends the spell slot.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. That's it for Saren.
Bridge.
Am I right in saying that that one just died?
It did.
Yep.
Lovely. Bridge is going to cast Bane at the big thing they saw when Owen peeked round the corner. If they are able to.
Can you still currently see it?
That's the point. No, I cannot. Never mind. Oh, that thing's going to be horrid, isn't it? We're just going to move 15 feet this way and still not see it?
You can. This square here has part of the creature in it, and from your vision you probably see a bit of its vine there.
Cool, and cast Bane, which is a saving throw of Charisma 13.
Oh no. 7.
You are baned whenever a target fails to make a saving throw, and this saving throw makes an attack roll or saving throw before the spell ends. Target must roll a d4 and subtract the number from any attack or saving throw.
Nice.
Yeah, it lasts up to a minute.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that the target rolls the d4. I've been having you guys roll it up until now.
It's more fun when we roll it.
True. I mean, if we want to keep it with you guys rolling it, I'm happy with that. Less work for me.
I mean, it's clean either way because they're rolling in Foundry, right?
Essentially, yeah. I mean, the result comes up, so yeah. Cool. Anything else?
Oh, that is it for Fridge. Thank you. At the minute.
Owen. I think you might be muted, buddy.
No, I just stepped over. I can see this thing, yeah?
Yes.
Owen will yell out, anyone else? Aside from this thing?
Not that.
Not
Fridge
that I can see.
Not that I can see as well.
Junior, you
Well-
can pretty much only see it.
I will then cast Tasha's Caustic Brew at 2nd level.
Oh,
DC,
please go through.
yeah, DC 14 deck save.
Does this have to be minus forward by the Bane, Dave?
Yeah, if it's a saving throw or attack throw, yeah.
Go ahead and roll that d4.
God, where's the d4?
It makes it either way.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yep.
Sorry, I was looking at the 15, not the 14.
Oh, I've only got a 1. Sorry.
Does it take half damage then on a success, does it?
No damage.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Anything else for your turn?
Oh, it'll just go, huh. And move a little closer. And that'll be me.
On the creatures then. You guys will learn eventually, I'm sure, but now is not that day. Can I have everyone in this cone, so Owen and Fridge, make me a Constitution saving? Oh, that's the wrong one. Right, it is yeah, it's still a con saving throw, but that was the wrong one that I did. Need the cone, not the... So, Owen, you succeed. Fridge, that's a fail. So,
Yep.
Fridge, you take 20 points of poison damage and are poisoned until the end of your next turn.
You'll hear Fridge scream out in pain.
Is it death pain or just pain?
No, just pain. Just pain.
And Owen, you take 10 points of damage and are not poisoned.
Is this poison breath that it used? That I'm seeing in Foundry?
Yeah, sorry, the poison. I'm reading the wrong ones constantly, aren't I? Yeah. So it's 5d6 damage. It's still the correct damage, but you're not poisoned, Bridge. Sorry. Thank you for reminding me on that. Sorry. If you look at, if I put that back in.
No,
there,
I know
you
you threw that up and then deleted it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you. That's why I asked, because that went away. So I was like, is it poison breath or spore spray?
Thank you. I almost got it wrong,
Yeah.
but yeah. Cheers. And just wondering. Yeah, the creature's gonna then burrow into the ground and move location.
Haha, that's not good.
Does it take any effect from Saren's circle while it's been in there, or is that a movement-based thing?
It's specifically a movement-based thing above ground was what we had decided previously, so it would take the 1 instance of damage for the square that it's currently in it as it starts moving. So we'll roll that 1 instance of damage if we could please, Shay.
Is that 2d4, is it, I think? I forget.
Let's
Have
see
you
what
not-
was Seren rolling a lot of last time.
It's spike growth, right? Yeah, 2d4
Yeah.
piercing.
If you could roll me 2d4.
4 piercing.
Thank you very much. I'll add that first, but for that. And you hear a rumbling as you see bits of the ground sort of crack as this creature moves location and then pops back up over here, crashing through the ground, sending bits of debris and muck all over the surrounding area. You also notice, popping up in a few different locations, if it would load up the text for it, there it is. A total of 3. Let me get the... No, that's the moon stars. I'm not going to bring Junbei back into the fight, I promise. Pods appear. Pop 1 there. 1 next to you, and another one where it left next to Junior.
Did I get an attack of opportunity for that, or because it didn't technically leave my range? No.
I'll say because Seren's able to do her damage, I say we'll let you do yours as well. It's only fair. So go ahead.
Cool. I'm going to roll this in... Whenever Seren rolls, I can always see it in D&D Beyond, so I'm going to... Can you guys check if you can see this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I'll start using that so you guys know I'm not fudging. 23 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. And a perfect time for people to see it so that you're not fudging.
5 points of slashing.
Very good. So as you see this creature's whole being start to slink into the ground, you manage to slice just at the top of it, and you see a little bit of it remain left over where you had cut a piece of it off. Nicely done. And that'll be the end of that turn. Who we got next? Junior, your turn.
Oh, well, after seeing Fridge get covered in poison, so you leave them alone, and then I would like to rage.
Wait.
I don't have that.
Oh, like, what?
It's like, I'm sorry, what?
He's got the level 5 fighter talent and a point in burn.
But I am hasted, so I'm going to sprint down to Fridge. You got eyes on?
Barely.
You want to be right next to Fridge, is it?
Oh, can I move? I've lost visual on him, so I don't know if I can move
I can move him.
Thank you.
How much movement was that?
5, 10, 15.
15.
Seren's spike thing only affects creatures that they deem hostile, right? Or is it anyone who goes through it?
It says when a creature, so it would affect Junior, unless he went the other way around.
The other way around would be through the house.
Yeah.
Or the long way around. Which he might even be able to do with his hasted movement. And
Maybe, but he should be able to do it through the house. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. It'd use 30.
Alright, cool. Yeah, so let's
35,
put him through
something
the
like
house, because he'd know of the stuff. Because Seven pointed it out.
He's an idiot, though.
Alright, do you want to take 2d4 damage or not? I guess is the question.
Screw it.
Alright, someone roll 2d4 for Junior then.
4 piercing damage to Junior.
Anyone got eyes? Ah!
Dumbass. No.
No, because you can hear Sarah say that.
Dex.
Okay,
Anything
if I got eyes on him, I would like to start heading that way.
The big bad would have eyes on from here. That's 30 feet, right? So he still has 30 feet left because of haste, right?
Yep.
5, 10, 20. You can get in range with 20 feet.
Yes, please.
Alright. To the
Let's stab this guy.
Plural.
Good thing up. Right, 14 to hit in the first one, but I will use my bardic inspiration. Why not?
Alright. Roll an additional d8.
I am trying. Turns out the phone app isn't that great. Oh, which one's the D4? That one? No, D8.
Yep.
Which one's the D8?
Looks like 2 pyramids. Back to
Oh
back.
shit! Does that count?
7. Yeah.
Alright. That hits. Roll damage. Finally
Oh,
hit him with
fuck.
your longsword.
Seven points of slashing.
Ooh, very nice.
And let's do it again.
This is the longsword again, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Oh, 10 to hit.
Bardic inspirational one-time thing.
Yeah.
Cool. That one doesn't seem to cut through the viney exterior. You've still got your extra
bonus action.
attack
Yes, please.
from both actions and your bonus action.
25 hit.
Is this with the longsword again, is it? Yeah?
A short sword bonus action.
Okay, this is bonus action. Yeah, that hits. All the
Oh,
short
God,
sword
that-
damage.
Accidentally rolled. Stop it! Is someone else doing that?
Doing what?
I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Doing what, though?
No, we aren't.
I'm not doing
Oh,
anything.
okay. 7 points of piercing.
Very nice.
Let's use this other action.
This is the longsword again, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
These are
18 to hit.
Yeah, okay, yeah. 18 hits, yep.
Boom. 4 points of slashing.
And then the final one
Yep.
for now.
Another 25 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. And you're rolling good.
I accidentally closed down the app.
Just throw the phone on
You're-
whatever side it lands on. Take that as your...
Yeah. 7 points of slashing.
Jesus. Did you roll all 7s on your damage?
No, I rolled a 4 on one.
And that was your offhand,
I think they were.
right? So
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the longswords were 7s and the offhand was a 4. That's impressive.
He's lucky.
He's consistent.
7.
Junior's getting good.
7. Jackpot.
Just math is hard. I think that would be that. Oh, I figured out an easy way to do math. My brain just clicked on something. Oh,
Calculator.
Yeah.
no, like
Calculator.
so the boss had a double-digit number that ended in 2, and you did 7 points of damage, but then I just thought if I subtract 10 and then add 3, that's the same as taking away 7 points. And it's so much quicker and easier to do. My brain can do math now. It took me 27 years, but I finally got there.
There you go.
Anything else for your turn, Junior?
No. It'll be it.
Till then.
Oops. Yeah, I guess, I'll just use my object interaction to get the diamond? I mean, where did it go? Where is it?
It's like at your feet. You rolled 16,
okay,
which
yeah.
is high enough for you not to have lost it. If you'd rolled
Okay.
really low, I would have had you lose it, and you'd have to find it out.
Fair enough. Okay, then I'll use my free object interaction to get it again.
Uh-huh.
And I really just want to blast it again. That's that's what I wanted to do the first time.
Don't drop the diamond.
Uh-huh. And it's gonna be thunder.
That hits.
That's much better.
And that is much better. Oh God, what's-
14 thunder damage to the Archboar.
I think I did the math on that right. Go with the No, let's not go with the That's what it would be. There we go. Cool.
Also, Rock says to turn yourself up just a little smidge, Leo, and you'll be level with the rest of us.
How's that, Rock? Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so this is like basically rocks. It's like not cliffs, but it's rocks that I can't really. For all intents and purposes, it's a wall, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It starts down here at about like a foot up,
Yeah.
and then by the time
So
it gets
bottom
under here,
line-
it's like 15.
My back's against the wall. I can't go left. There's the big ugly in front of me, and whatever this is to my right. What is this? Just a spore?
It's a pod that appears
A
to
pod,
have
but
popped up out of the ground.
But I can't really go through it. So, yeah, I can't really move anywhere. Oh, wait.
He's remembering.
I mean, Misty Step's a bonus action, but I don't think I can do that because I cast Chromatic Orb.
I think I'll say because
can
it's
I? There
because
was that
it's
weird
your
bonus
racial
action roll.
thing. I'll allow it because it is specifically you can cast it once a day as your race thing. I'll allow it.
Oh, if you cast a cantrip or leveled spell as a bonus action. So either way.
Misty Step a cantrip.
No, it's not. So
It's
anyway,
Chromatic Orb
I'll be able to
cantrip.
cast it regardless. I'm going to do that. And I think I can just do this. Where is 30 feet to an unoccupied space that I can see? Okay.
You're very quickly running out of those.
Yeah. But I should be able to 5, 10, 15, 20. I mean, I can see this. Can I not just go there?
Don't see why not.
Cool. And I do that. And that's it.
And Seren.
Yeah, I forgot I was Saren. Saren will need to, come out. She can't see anything.
She's got eyes on one of the pods, right?
Can she shoot a pod? Is it like a target that she can shoot?
Certainly try.
Yeah. Have these pods done anything yet? I'm asking the party this too. Like, has anything come out of these pods that we've seen?
There's one doing something funky in front of me. About the one up by the door.
If memory serves, damaging them close range yields terrible results.
Memory does not serve.
Okay, so we will. This one in front of you is doing something. You said, Fridge.
No, this one.
Oh, that one. Okay. She cannot see that one, unfortunately.
They can't?
No.
I thought I could see it because Owen's casting light.
Yeah,
No,
but there's
you
a
can see
wall
it.
here.
I'm saying Saren.
Oh,
Saren cannot
Saren
see it.
can't.
Yeah, Saren has
Okay.
no idea that it's there really. Just these two. This one and this one. I feel like she would come out and try and get the big bad because they haven't really done anything yet. Actually, 5, 10, 15. We've been communicating, so she knows roughly that it's over there. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, right? Haha! Flanked! And now Saren can put the hunter's mark on it. And will now take a shot at the archboar. 17 to hit.
Hit.
Okay. Then we're going 1d8 plus 1d6 plus 1d4 plus 3. 13 total damage.
Jesus. You guys are getting too strong. I'm gonna have to make harder enemies. Let's bring Baron von Lahr back, is it?
Oh, yeah.
It's looking hurt.
Cool. And that's Saren, because that was all of her actions.
That did not update. It's a good thing I remember what the number was. There we go. Did it update that time? Yeah, it did. There we go. Fridge.
Bridger cast Dissonant Whispers on the creature.
Is it still affected by the Bane stuff?
It has not been. How many rounds are in a minute? 10? It's not been 10 rounds, so I would say
okay.
yes.
Cool, I didn't know how long it lasts for. Okay, and what's Dissonant Whispers?
Whisper a discordant melody that only one creature of your choice within range can hear, racking it with incredible pain. The target must make a wisdom saving throw, which is 13. And then dependent if you save or fail.
I fail.
Fail, you take 3d6 psychic damage and immediately must use your reaction if available to move as far away from me as your speed allows. The creature does not move into obviously dangerous ground, such as a fire or a pit. And that is it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage for me.
13.
Very
Nice.
good. It's looking real hurt now. Cool. And okay, its movement as far away from you as possible. Let me do some calculating here because it can't pop up in certain spots. There. Okay. So, by that then, it would burrow underground, and you'd see it or hear it pop up behind the house, up in this direction. However, interesting side effect of you having done this, I need to roll as 3 more pods pop up. Go ahead and pop there. Let's pop one next to Junior.
Anyone else getting that it's movement based rather than damage based?
pods?
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever it resurfaces.
Yeah. I'm not the smartest. It took me a while.
I only picked up on it last time when you rolled for it. I didn't even know they were a thing before because I couldn't see them.
Fair.
Alright, let me make this one Pinky Boy as well. Anything else for your turn?
Nope. Fridge is surrounded by dead bodies. They're a little freaked out. I think they're just staying put. Because the discordant melody that Fridge was saying was probably just cuss words under their breath.
Gotcha. I realize the audio has messed up a little bit for me here. Can I fix that? It's ambient playing. Ah, screw it. It's not messed up enough that it's an issue. Next up, Owen.
How high is the... How tall is this building?
1 story. I don't know what the average for how tall a 1-story building would be, but about that.
It's roughly about 14 feet. Okay.
So we'll say 15 to round it to nice D&D numbers, shall we?
Sounds good. If I were to... So normally jumping is just part of your movement. You don't have to make a check. But if you try to make a jump beyond your jumping capabilities, you typically roll athletics. What I would like to do is cast jump and make a jump for the roof.
Okay. What does jump do? Will that give you enough jump to just jump to the roof? Or will
No,
it-
it'll triple my distance, which will give me 9 feet of jumping.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check then. But it shouldn't be too difficult because most of it has been covered by the jump spell.
I'll do that, and then I'll get a running start and jump.
It's close for a moment, remembering the weight of your armor, but then you reach out and clasp, and you feel a shift on the roof as a bit of the thatch of the roof loosens a bit, but luckily you grabbed enough of it and you managed to pull yourself up onto the roof.
So I have about 5 feet left, and I'm going to use it to step along the roof. So I'd be about right there.
Cool. From what you can see of the situation through the window, you actually have vision of the creature from the roof here also.
Gotcha. And I'll use a bonus action to give myself temporary HP. It's part of the armor.
Cool. Anything else for your turn?
No, that'll be it.
Can I preface what's about to happen by saying, I'm sorry?
No.
I suppose. Your apology is...
Pending.
It's noted, but not accepted. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So Dan, let's start, well actually no, let's go left to right to make it easier on myself. That one doesn't. Junior, can I have you make a Constitution saving throw.
Of course. Any minute now. Saving throws, Constitution. There you are, buddy. 18.
18. Okay. We'll get to that in a second.
Would that be 20 with the haste? I don't know how that works.
That's dexterity that you have stuff
Oh,
with
okay.
haste. So yeah.
But just remember that you succeeded when we get back round to that bit. Okay?
Okay.
So Dan, can I have you make a Constitution saving throw for me, please?
Yeah.
We'll get round to that in a moment, but can you please remember when we do that you succeeded flawlessly?
Sure.
Bridge, can I have you make a Constitution saving throw for me, please?
No.
Oh no.
No, you can't.
So,
Not like this.
those of you that are currently stood next to a pod notice at this moment that the pod begins to writhe in a very unnerving fashion, almost like if you've ever seen like someone with a broken bone and their arms just all floppy. That is happening all over this as the pod begins to expand and it explodes, releasing a series of spores and poison towards you. Junior and Sildan, as you see this happening, you manage to cover your mouth quickly enough and your eyes, and you stop any from getting into any of the orifices of yourself, so you take no damage whatsoever. Bridge, however, takes 6 points of poison damage, and you are stunned until the end of your next turn. I'll mark with this net. Those pods, however, are now dead. So let me mark those ones as dead. So that one, that one, that one. Now for the second part of this. There is a lot to this feature that I need to call, so apologies. This is part of. Okay, so I need to roll a bunch of 1d. I'm going to go left to right again, starting with this one here. Okay, that's a fail. The purple one next to it. That's a success. Let's go for this one around the corner here then. That's a success. Can anyone see any other pods that I haven't mentioned? I think that's all of them, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Those ones begin to writhe in a similar fashion to what you just saw. However, instead of exploding, you see them pop out of the ground into... That's not the right... Right? It's the right thing, but not the right sprite. Let me fix that on the fly here. Boom, boom, boom. Into similar creatures that you have seen already and been battling against. And then let me just copy that guy to that. Boom. They pop out of the ground and they now have their turn with the Arch Spore starting on the next turn.
Question about these.
Yes.
As we were observing it, did the ones that blew chunks in our faces look visibly different from the ones that became creatures?
They did not.
Oh, that's a bummer. All right.
And so all of that is just what happens at the start of the Archspor's turn. Now it's actually the Archspor's turn.
Question.
Answer.
These tiny little things that are surrounding us slowly but surely, are they humanoid or not?
You mean these fellas?
Yes.
They are bipedal.
So, not humanoid.
I need to look up the definition of humanoid.
I take it that
As
you're
far
asking,
as-
do they look like loggers that are transformed? Is that what you're getting at?
I
Well,
Oh, or for
it
your
could be
spell.
for the sake of
Yeah.
Yeah, do
spells,
they look
right?
roughly human-shaped? Is, I think, what humanoid means, right?
It should have if it's for a spell, like if it's creature type humanoid, it
Yeah.
should tell you, Leo, whether these things are that.
It would, had I not made these things myself.
Oh, they're homebrewed. Well, you get to decide.
So, by Google definition, a humanoid is a non-human entity with human form or characteristics.
Yes, granted, what I'm trying to do is look at examples for a creature that would be similar to this to see whether or not that is or isn't humanoid according to
That's fair.
other things in D&D.
That's fair. Just giving you a rough definition so you have an idea of what you're working with.
Okay, a similar creature, from what I can see of what this is called the violet fungus, and that is classed as a medium plant, not a medium humanoid. So
Oh,
I
gotcha.
will say, sadly, no, this is not a humanoid creature.
That is absolutely fine.
The other
mean, it isn't.
ones that you were fighting were humanoid creatures, but these little fellas are not.
Oh, wait, so, like, this dead thing?
Yeah, and this one here,
I've got nothing. Oh, I got you, yeah.
the reanimated loggers were humanoid, but these are not.
Cool.
Cool. So,
Okay.
Archibald's turn. Is it still frightened of you, or is that just a one-time thing?
It's just a one-time has to get away from me thing, but I believe it's still baned?
It is still baned. That's 10 turns, isn't it? And it's been
Yeah.
2.
is that concentration?
Oh, don't ask me that now. Yeah. Do I have to roll for that?
Yeah.
When you took damage, yeah.
Okay, what is it? A D20?
Yeah, it's, I want to say DC 10 minimum plus the damn, hold on.
Whenever you take damage while you are concentrating on a spell, you must make a Constitution saving throw to maintain your concentration. The DC equals 10, or half the damage that you take, whichever number is higher. So in this case, it would be 10.
Constitution saving throw.
Yes.
Yep.
Did I pass for a change? No, of course I fucking didn't.
No, so you lose concentration on Bane.
Okay, it's no longer baned. Oh, my rolls are pants tonight.
Unfortunate.
Oh, it's the way things go. Just,
Yeah, I mean, I've had a few things that haven't gone how I'd hope here as well. That's how the dice fall. It is going to burrow once more to get back to where it was, because it kind of liked being there. And let's actually use the spore spray this time, not the poison breath, but the spore spray, which is a ranged weapon attack on one person, which it is going to pick.
In front of Junior.
It is, so this will be a disadvantage.
Can I do attack of opportunity if it's popped up? Or is that only when it
No,
leaves?
because
It's
you,
when
Oh
it
no, it's
leaves.
only when it leaves.
Well,
Yeah.
it would also be when it appears. Well, yes, when it leaves your range, but also your turn hasn't come back round and you have already used your reaction to attack it the last
Right.
time it moved. So you currently don't have a reaction to attack of opportunity.
Yeah, fair enough.
But you being in melee with it does make this at disadvantage against Seldan. That's still a 22 to hit, though.
At disadvantage? Gee.
Sorry, it just sprayed at me.
So,
That was a me, you said, Leo?
yes.
Oh dear.
I made this a very weird spell, now that I realize it, because although it hit you, you now have to make a Constitution saving throw. So I made it
Okay.
extra hard for it to do anything.
Just one moment. So, going to hit me. But it hits one of my mirror images.
Fucking mirror
And
image,
that-
man.
That mirror image is destroyed. I have one left.
Yeah.
I'm a squishy mage. You think I'm
Yeah.
using my AC to avoid your attacks? I'm
No,
using my
no, that's
spell.
fair, that's fair. That's very well done. That's the end of its turn. Oh, wait, it moved, so... Pods. Let me, That's unfortunate. I'm just going to keep them purple this time for the sake of speed. One there. One there. One next to Junior.
God, did the other ones
Three.
die?
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we are. Cool. Yeah, this one and this one are marked with death skulls, but for some reason they didn't
I
go
see.
big skulls. Let me add them to the turn order and then make them big skulls for you. And that is the end of its turn, which... Junior.
Ah, there you are. Let's swish.
Go ahead.
Ah, 10 to hit.
Doesn't cut it, I'm afraid. Ha! Doesn't cut it.
Wow.
Next attack. Is this going to be another long
8
sword
to
or
hit.
the short sword?
Yeah, another longsword.
Cool.
It was
Doesn't
an
hit,
8.
I'm afraid, with the 8.
Alright. Well, this was bound to happen. Bonus action. Short sword attack.
Cool.
There we go. 20, not natural.
Yeah, that one hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
5 points of piercing.
5. These guys are so close.
Let's use my haste action.
Yep.
Oh, God damn it. 9 to hit.
Doesn't cut it. You got one action left. Make it count.
13 to hit.
Oh. Sadly, you are only able to get in the one swipe at the creature, as its AC is 14.
Oh, I'm getting out of puff.
So
I
then,
think that's the end of my turn.
Yeah. I can see it. How many vines and stuff are off of this thing? How injured does it look?
extremely injured. Almost like a withered plant at this point.
Okay. All right, I'm going to try for an assurance here. Let's do magic missile cast at 2nd level. And I'm just gonna roll them all. That's just to see what the spell is. Or wait, do you do it all? You do one roll counts for all, or roll them separately for damage?
Roll them separately for each magic missile, because you could be hitting
Okay.
different targets, right?
Okay, then I'll just So I got 4 missiles then. So 1, 2,
How do you want to do
3,
this?
4.
With the first
mean-
missile.
I mean, really, it's just the self-explanatory. They They go unerringly. They kind of, swirl around it for a minute, and then the missiles just start puncturing through its sinuous, viney body, leaving some nice crisp marks as it flops to the ground like a bad Caesar salad.
Aw.
Very nice.
Isn't it a bit pussy as well, if I remember right, when I stabbed into it?
Oh,
It's a really bad season.
yeah.
It is, but think more like, the sort of aloe vera-esque stuff that you get, not like actual pus.
Right, okay.
One I'd put on my body for skincare, the other I wouldn't,
The other's aloe vera.
No, incorrect, sir. Anything else for your turn, Sildan?
Yes, because I'm currently standing next to one of these pods. I would like not to be. Is this movable terrain or no?
Yes.
It is? Okay, then I should be able to go 5, 10, 15. Oh, damn it, that's next to another spore. 5, 10. So's that!
Sorry,
Fuck
this.
this
I
chess
thought you
game.
meant that square was
Yeah,
movable
no, that's
too.
fine. I could move here, I suppose, and just stay here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. But I would like to... Well, Fridge is all stunned next to Sildan.
Yep.
That's not good. Yeah, Sildan will stay here so that he can keep an eye on Fridge. He's not just going to dip out. So I'll be here. That's my turn.
Oh, poor Fridge. Seren's turn.
Yeah. Saren is going to put Hunter's Mark on this creature and just do what she's been doing, which is consistent, devastating damage. 13 on it.
Hits.
It hits. Okay. Boop. 10 damage.
Yeah, I knew I was right to mark that as dead as soon as you attacked it. Very nice.
Oh, yeah?
The creature withers, deflates, and does nothing.
Given that the Archspore is dead and that I can really only see one more creature like that, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Not occupying a space with Owen, as he is currently on the roof, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Sorry, 25. Let's go 30 so she can see out the full roof, because they're the full
Window.
roof, the full window. Yeah. Now she can see tons of the battlefield, and that's it.
Fridge, by the end of your turn, you are no longer stunned.
Yep.
Feel free to remove that condition yourself if you're able to do so.
Thank you.
Owen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the edge of the roof. I guess I'll share what all can I see from up here, since the walls are actually blocking sight lines?
Let me see if I can temporarily fix that for you. Sight restriction none. Sight restriction none.
Well, that's a lot.
It sure is. Chief.
Okay, I'm going to move there and magic missile.
Please mark the things in which you would like to magic missile. Whether you're splitting or hitting just one.
Yeah, I'm splitting the 3 here.
Cool. Alrighty, go ahead and roll damage on those for me.
4, 4, and 3.
Out of curiosity, what is the max damage that a single missile can do?
5 for me.
That's unfortunate. Thank you very much. They all appear to have been damaged, but are still wriggling about.
Oh, yeah, I know what I should have done. That would have been hilarious. Too late now. That'll be me, I believe.
Cool. It would technically now be the Archspor's turn, if it weren't dead. So, let me go through a few things. As you are 15 feet up, this one technically isn't near you, but let's go left to right. First off, so, that one's fine. Junior, can I have you make a, what was that? Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Sure.
Fridge, could I also have you make a Constitution saving throw for me, please? Oh, I'm so sorry, Fridge.
22.
Junior, you're fine, having experienced this before, and the one near you explodes and then withers and dies.
He looks up and sees what's happening to Fridge. Like, for God's sake, Fridge, close your mouth.
Fridge, however, you take... Ooh, where is it? There it is. 3 points of poison damage and are stunned until the end of your next turn.
I feel at this point Fridge would just be laughing uncontrollably, and that's why they're stunned. Because this is ridiculous.
And then let me mark that one off as dead now, because it has gone... Right. You then become like your brother. Oh no, wait, I need to roll to see if you become like your brother. You do. Okay, I was right to do that. You become like your bro. You, which is this one here I'm rolling for next. Do not. And also do not. Okay. Now, this one is going to move to there and make a slam attack at you, Sildan. Please roll to see. Well, I mean, it'll miss even if it is your mirror image, right?
Yep.
Cool. This one's going to go up towards Junior and do a slam attack against Junior. 18 to hit.
With haste, not anymore.
Oh, this blasted haste.
Oh, puts in such work.
It really does. And then Junior, it's your turn.
Oh, so that guy's right in front of me now, huh?
Sure is.
Good times. Let's slash him up.
Roll for it.
Oh, God damn it. 9 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh, really? Oh. 6 points of slashing.
That one's dead.
Oh, cool. Now how does that work? Have I still got another action that's free from my attack action?
If you can attack something right now, yeah.
Can I?
I mean,
I can't
Saren's just
see
around
if nothing next to me is...
the corner.
What's that thing right next to Junior on his left?
That is a dead pod that has a small icon instead of a big one. Let me fix that for you.
Okay. Okay, let's just use my movement to go over to these other pods on the right of Junior.
Alright, 5, 10, 15.
I guess I can't use my bonus either for an attack.
only if you just attacked. If you want to move here, you could probably, like, use your action to attack one, then your extra attack for the other if you need it, or your bonus attack, should that be the case. But you've got to use
but
your action
That's why
first.
I asked, like, when I used my action, because there was nothing else there to hit with my second action. Does that go away now that I've moved?
Yeah, that
Or is
one
it still there?
does. Yeah, so you don't
Oh,
have
but my
your
second
extra
action
attack
from dash.
from haste.
haste,
Yeah,
sorry.
you've got that one,
Right.
and you can use your bonus action for your hasted one as well. Just like you can only use one per turn because you only have one bonus
Right.
action.
Got you. Okay, let's hit these pods.
Starting with leftmost, I guess.
Yeah, please. I keep closing down D&D Beyond this one. I'm very sorry.
D&D Beyond, Shabbat Power.
What was
18 to hit.
That hits. What was
So I'm sorry, what was the thing about attacking and it eating up an action?
Oh, so he attacked this creature over here, but for his extra attack, he only gets a second attack if he's just attacked, but he's attacking now and then moving, so he can't use his extra attack as part of his fighter skill here.
You can absolutely attack, move, and then extra attack.
Oh, really?
Yeah, according to Jeremy Crawford,
Who is
Back
Jeremy
in-
Crawford?
one of the writers.
Well, I can't argue with
He-
that, can I?
He's lead rules guy.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that. You can use your extra attack still.
Okay.
from the
So
first
we
set.
say that was my extra
Yes.
attack.
Go ahead and roll damage for it.
Oh, it was 4.
That pod
Slashing.
had one hit point left, and I didn't realize until I clicked on it again from where
Okay.
Owen had blasted it. So that one's dead.
Right.
So now you have your hasted action left and your bonus action.
Got you. Let's move up to the next pod.
Right. Do you want to move here so that you're next to the Shroomite and the pod?
Oh, is the pod not the last bit? Sorry, it's very small on my phone.
Yeah. So there's a pod left and there's a Shroomite left.
Yeah, put me between those two then.
Cool. Which one are you hitting first?
Oh, these pods are causing the nightmare for Fridge, so let's get the pod.
Alright, go ahead and roll an attack.
25 to hit.
Cool, that one's dead.
Oh, really?
It's got
Okay.
one hit point from where
Right.
Snake had hit it with 4 previously. So now the Shroomite,
Yes, please.
which you've
second
still got your
Shroomite.
extra attack and your bonus.
Mhm.
So
21 to hit.
that hits.
8 points of slashing.
And it's dead.
Hey.
So many corpses.
It really is.
None of them ours.
Which
Yeah.
is surprising. I thought I'd at least get one of you guys down with this. But there's still a bad guy left. I could get lucky. Anything else for your turn, Junior? You still have a lot of movement in your bonus action.
Oh, if I have I'm gonna move up to Fridge then. And can I use my bonus action to put a health potion down her throat?
I think
Their
so,
throat,
right?
sorry.
Or is it an action to force it? Let's say yeah.
I'd like to do that then, please.
Cool. Go ahead and roll health potion stats. Can
I
you remember
can't
which one I
remember what
gave
it
you
was.
guys?
They were standard health potions, weren't they?
Which I think is 2d4.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, but I
2d4.
am checking it. Yeah, 2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2. 9.
9 points
With
of
the plus
healing
2.
for you, Fridge.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's it then.
Sildan, top of the round. Finish us off.
Yeah. Oh dear, he says to the, I don't know, myconoid that's standing next to him.
Shroomite.
Well, how about you then? And he punches it. 14.
That hits. How much damage do you do with
Okay.
unarmed?
0, because I do 1 minus my strength modifier, which is -1. So
We always do one. Is that a 3.5?
Do you?
Always do
I
one.
don't know.
In the lowest
Okay,
you can
that's
do is
cool.
1 in 5e as well.
bonk.
Okay,
Just limp wristed, just slapped him on the face.
Yeah.
cool. You've punched it. Anything
Yeah.
else for your turn?
No.
Saren.
Are you serious? And then she'll shoot it properly.
Yeah, go ahead and roll the attack. If it hits, I'm gonna assume that Saren will kill hit. Yeah, okay, cool. And with that, we are out of combat. Everything seemingly a threat to you, dealt with, dispatched, murdered, and a very interesting new creature has crossed your paths.
Huh?
The Archspore?
Oh, right. Okay, I thought we meant just now. It's like,
Yeah,
and everyone
yes,
rolled for
just
initiative
now.
again.
Everything in front of you is something you have never seen before. And you're like, who? This ain't new to me. Casual Friday night.
Is everyone all right?
Yep. Fine.
I'm gonna second wind real quick. So he pulls out the spike that's probably in his leg from Saren's spike trap.
Yeah, Saren will drop that spell so that there's not tons of spikes everywhere now.
Would she though?
Assuming that she takes a moment to make sure there are no threats.
Yeah. Cool. Alright with you, I'm gonna fix the walls now. Oh, you guys do a bit of RP.
Sildan will drop haste, and for but a moment, Junior can't move or take actions as a wave of lethargy sweeps over him.
What, like a come down?
Exactly
Yeah, you're
that.
really tired for a good moment. Yeah, you're. If we were in combat, you basically can't move or take actions until after your next turn.
Right, okay.
'Cause you're all, yeah. You were motoring and now you're not.
Oh, damn, my head, man. What was that?
Oh, just the after effects of the spell. Are any of those tents, could we appropriate them?
Was that a question at me, or?
Nope.
Because the silence was there for so long, I thought maybe it was, then.
Nope.
Oh.
That was to the party. Although, I guess Solan doesn't really see Owen.
Reg doesn't see anyone.
I mean, Junior is right in front of you.
Oh yeah, he's covered in goop. You're under the goop sticker for me. Can I get rid of the stunned condition?
You can. I just slapped it off here.
We good?
Yep.
Think
Sound
so.
off.
Okay.
You sure you got hit pretty hard there?
I'm standing, aren't I?
You are standing.
Fuck was that thing?
Saren? The fuck was that thing?
Can Saren make a check or Does Sarah know what it is?
What is she checking now? The art spell.
Yeah, does she know what it was or anything about it?
None of you would have any real knowledge of what this creature is. It's something that, even if you were the most studied of persons, you probably wouldn't have read about this creature.
Okay. So she's basically just gonna say no. She doesn't know anything about it.
I'm
All right.
sorry, it's not in the monster manual.
Thanks, Rock. um,
What about the shivering
So-
dude in the cabin? Anyone checked on him?
Fridge will
Take that as a no.
sigh and go wander over and check on them in the closet. If they're still there. By pounding on the door, see if there's a response.
You're alive. You're. Is it gone?
I'm not even going to respond, I'm just going to walk away.
Oh,
Confirmed, he's alive.
Is the vine dome still encasing the area?
currently it is, yes.
Wait, you don't think there's another one, do you?
I hope not.
I
in
don't
any
think I
case,
could
what
take
a
another one.
specimen.
Thank you. Oh, the
Sildan's gonna get out a vial and take some samples of this creature.
Cool. Let's say you're easily able to get 2 samples worth, or 2 like studies worth of whatever you end up using it for, of the sap that this creature has, and 3 bits of vinage. If you wanted to roll for more, you can, but you could easily get that much at least.
Okay, what would I be rolling?
A survival check, I want to say. Technically a plant.
Sure.
You are able with that high of a roll to, looking around what would be like the bulb of this creature, you are able to see inside and see what you imagine could be this creature's seed.
Okay.
For it to, do what plants do and plant seeds, grow again.
Yeah. I will take that as well.
Cool. Looking at it, it's almost like American football shape, but slightly larger in size. If you
okay.
like extended your arm in front of you, it probably goes from your wrist to your elbow in size, lengthwise, and then it's just a little bit wider than an American football.
Fridge,
Yeah,
see
okay.
that?
So that'll have to go in the pouch then, or pack rather.
Can Fridge see that?
Are you being
Fridge
sly
see-
about it, Sildan?
Oh no. I like it. Yeah, it's like a football size thing, right? I wouldn't think he'd be able to really. He's just taking it out of the creature.
Put it in the lead box. But just in the box, they're made of lead. Put it in the box. What if that thing sprouts in there?
It's a good idea.
We have a lead box, right, Owen? Will it
Are
fit?
we all robots?
No, just you.
No.
Well, I mean,
you.
we might be to you, but
Unfortunate.
was it all of us or just Fridge?
It was everyone. I think it's
Assistant?
better now.
Okay. You need a recap of that line?
I heard lead box very emphatically. I assume that was your request to put the thing into the lead box.
Please. Please and thank you.
Yeah, all right. I'll hand it over. Owen will produce the lead box. Wait, Do I have... Yeah, so the lead box would have been in my bag of holding. I will then draw the lead box, open it, realize that you replaced the water skin with piss, or
Yeah.
what was in it with piss.
Yeah, he
Unfortunately.
did.
I assume that feels, well, what sort of check would I need to make to recognize whether or not that's different? Because it would definitely feel different.
Well, are you actually taking the bag of piss out of the bag of holding to put this out of the lead box to put the seed in, or are you just putting the seed in? Because those are two very different interactions.
How big was the lead box?
Good question.
Either way, I would be taking the water skin out. I wouldn't want to put something on something
Okay.
heavy on a thing of liquid.
In which case, let me have a look at the full list of skills that a D&D character has to try and figure out what the best, by these stats, figure out what the best thing to discern this was. If you have any ideas of what might work, then I'm open.
Insight sounds pretty good, or just like a straight
a
wisdom
perception.
roll or something.
Perception would be it. I would definitely... How straight of a shot was Junior?
It's disgusting.
Yeah, these questions are.
Sorry about this.
Junior, roll me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, valid.
To see how accurately you could piss. Have we lost?
You rolled a 20.
20.
Oh. Okay, well then roll a better perception check than that, I guess.
Good job, Pissmaster.
23.
You noticed a slight bit of liquid on the outside of the water skin, and it doesn't feel as ooey as you mess about with it in your hands now.
What the... Owen will, I guess, sort of shake the water skin. After fussing about with it, he'll eventually bring it up to his nose.
Ugh.
What was the last thing you ate, Junior?
I don't know.
Oh, the breakfast.
This is stupid. Can we move on from
Yeah.
what he ate and how the piss smells?
Bad. And
I
certainly
assume
not
I'm able
likely.
to identify it as piss.
Yes.
Owen will recoil and drop all of it to the ground.
I mean, I don't need to describe that, right? You know, you all know.
Yep. Is everything all right, Owen? Still waiting on that lead box.
Is Junior within eyesight?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
he's
think he's
under
there.
the... Yeah, okay.
He's like, he's still in its space or whatever, right? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a solid, like, 5 seconds of Owen looking off into the middle distance, obviously calculating what the hell happened.
You also hear the wolf earlier.
Yep. And very slowly, he will turn to look at Junior. He still has his dread helm on, so you just see 2 red eyes.
Alright, the champ.
What have you done?
What do you mean? Did you drop the... I must have got out when you dropped the box earlier.
Very calmly, Owen will bend down, pick up the water skin, and throw it at Junior.
Damn it, Owen, what was that for? And then probably just seeing that it's the empty flask.
Partially
Okay.
empty.
See, I can't...
Half of it's on
I
you
can't-
now.
God damn. And I can't explain. I can explain everything. Just give me a minute to think.
Got about 5 seconds.
All right. Well, okay. I picked it. I picked it out of your pocket. Okay. They took my swords. I wanted them back. And as you can see from that last fight, I needed them because I did a great job.
You don't know what you're messing with.
Oh, his name's Sirik. He gives me powers. Fine.
This Sarek made you bang on my door in the middle of the night to get those back. Made you, compelled you. That doesn't sound fine.
But he hasn't done it since.
Now he doesn't have to. You did whatever it wanted for him.
Oh, these are my swords. No one else can have them.
They were given to you. They were someone else's first.
These were made specifically for me.
With power you don't understand.
No, they were made back in Thornhold. Yes, they've been given some inky skills, but they're still mine.
What do you know about this Sarek?
Nothing other than his name. Anyone?
All I know is you put the entire party at risk for some metal. Stay the hell away from me.
Fridge.
I don't know what you're gonna do. You don't know what you're gonna do.
Well, what was the alternative? We just keep me tied up forever?
At least that was predictable.
Well, don't use crying over spilt piss. It's done, okay? I've got my swords back and nothing bad has happened since.
I'm remaining mostly quiet because you all seem to have a dynamic, but... do we trust Junior?
Not anymore.
You made a plan.
We need to get out of this dome.
Owen has opened the lead box, waiting for Soldan to put the seed in there.
Yeah, I guess Sildan's just been kind of holding it under his arm like a football, and does so quickly when he sees Owen's got it for him. Puts it in the box. The
Box goes
rest
back
of
in
the...
bag.
Okay, the rest of the bits and bobs should be easy enough for Sildan to just carry himself. Then he steps gingerly over some spores. Well, you're right, Fridge. I suppose we should take a look. He heads straight past Junior and he sort of like he gets to Fridge and kind of looks at her because like she's human, so he kind of holds out an arm, or basically just she or they, I'm sorry, can grab on to him and actually see. Like he'll direct them.
She'll gratefully accept the extended hand.
Right, and then they make their way off towards the vine dome. I don't think I really need to walk us there, like just wherever that happens to be, all around us in a dome, right? So
Yeah.
really any of the edges will do.
Yes, I assume the closest edge. Oh,
Yeah. And then I guess we can start taking a look and experimenting. I'm gonna try for like an Arcana check, I guess.
should we do this after a quick break?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Man, Fridge, I ought to say, I applaud. That was some fucking dope as shit acting, essentially.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a great line.
Yeah.
That's like what you see in an animated cartoon series or something like that. And it's like, wah, wah, wah.
So fucking dope. I legit shed tears for a second. Like, oh, that was fucking powerful. Like, because of the story behind it. I fucking love this game. Oh, D&D's so good. Right. Cool.
You've really done it this time, haven't you, dum-dum?
I really regret pissing in that flask.
Oh, damn. Because it hit Owen, and he loves giving nicknames. Can he just be Piss Fingers from now on?
Wait.
No, I'm sorry. That's rude.
It's interesting though, because at the start of this, prior to us going live tonight, because Seren isn't here, and a lot of what happens after this is Seren's character arc story stuff, depending on what you do, obviously. I did say to Durf, I might have to throw you under the bus tonight, and like, so
fine, he threw himself.
Yeah. The situation, and it wasn't even that he threw himself there. It was just that, we had this new item that needed to be made secure, and the best place to put it is the lead marks. And one thing led to another, and now this newfound sister that he had, the first connection that he had to his father, has now turned away from him. And
Because he reminds her just of her father.
yeah. And all of that put together fucking broke my heart for a split second. So, let's go ahead and take a 15-minute break. Be back here at about 22 minutes past, if I did the math right. Probably didn't. 23 minutes past. And we'll continue where we left off with Soldan checking out the exterior or interior of this dome with an Arcana check.
Can Fridge lend an assist on that when we get back?
They certainly can.
Cool.
Alright, see you in just a bit, folks.
Yep.
Welcome back, everyone. So, I believe before our break, we had Sylvan and Fridge making their way up towards the edge of this dome interior. And an Arcana check. You can either both make one, or Sylvan, you can make one with advantage.
Mine's not that good. I would say you go for it.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay, well, I rolled a 2 and a 1, so we'll take the 2, and I got a 9.
Jesus.
You get the idea that there is something magical about this, but you can't place a finger on what exactly or how you would get around it.
Can I try and see if I can use my hands to just make my way through, or if I can see the other side of the vines or anything like that?
Looking at the vines here, you can quite clearly see that they're quite tightly interwoven, so as not to let anything in or out.
Even if I use my hands to try and get in.
I mean, you could try, yeah. But,
Yes, please.
as you, no gap would be able to fit your hand through, and as you try to pull the vines apart, go ahead and make a strength check for me.
Strength is a straight strength, right?
Yes, please.
Oh. It continues. It's just gonna go, eh.
Well, it was worth a shot. What are you gonna do about him?
Which him are we referring to?
The untrustworthy one? If you don't mind me asking.
I don't know. I haven't even been traveling with these people that long, and then I found out who's my brother, and now he's done this. I mean, what would you do?
Suppose little brothers can be quite a handful. Have you tried hitting him?
Makes it worse. But I'll keep that in mind. It hasn't worked yet.
If you ever need to, talk about it. He seems pretty awkward about this stuff, but...
Thanks, Silky.
Right.
Yeah.
For our current problem, though, this seems to be magical, although I have no idea what type, so, well, maybe a blanket solution. I'm gonna try Dispel Magic.
Alright, at what level are you casting this?
Third, as high as I can.
And what are the things for if that, what? Yeah. You know what I mean?
It just says choose a creature, object, or magical effect within range. So, the wall of vines, or some section of the wall. I don't know.
I meant more
I don't know
if it was a higher level spell than the level you're casting at.
Yeah, it's any spell of third level or lower ends. For each spell of fourth or higher, I make an ability check using my spell casting ability.
Okay, please do the spell casting check then. Which I believe the DC is equal to 10 plus the spell's level.
Yes. Make a check using my spell casting ability, so... I guess that would just be a +4, right? That would just use my... my intelligence base. Do I have that right?
But whatever your... I will check.
Yeah,
I think so. It's just
Yeah,
my
it's just a
+4
modifier. Yeah.
modifier, right? Okay. So I just for the sake of D&D Beyond, I'm just gonna do an int roll because that'll just be the same thing. $13.
That is not enough to dispel this spell. Which I guess is
Okay,
kind of evident, because if it was 3, then it would have just dispelled anyway.
Yeah. Well, that was about it for me. Other than burning it, I'm out of ideas at the moment.
Erin can do that, can't she? I can only make it look like it's burning. And Fridge will just, for the heck of it, cast prestidigitation.
That was funny. Sildan does laugh, but, weirder than my normal laugh. Or not. I don't know. Take your pick.
How do I
You'll
give
just
more
see-
points of inspiration?
You just see Fridge smile sadly back.
Seren cannot cast Dispel Magic.
Oh, no, fire, right? We were on about fire.
We were talking about fire now, and
No, correct, but you had asked if Seren could do it, right?
Yeah, in regards to fire, because Silky had asked
Oh.
about burning it.
Oh,
Yeah.
apologies.
I don't think Saren can do fire spells either.
Oh, wait, no, now you say that. Fridge will go into their backpack and dig out a tinderbox and some oil. And we'll go about setting up to see if they can burn anything. Is that a thing I can do?
Yeah, certainly. So with a little bit of time, maybe a few minutes, as you pour the oil across sections of this viney exterior and try to light it with the tinderbox, so the oil takes the flame, and after a few minutes of it burning, it seems to have not really done much to the vines. You gather probably because of the magical properties of them.
Idea gone.
It's a good try. Well, if I want to try again at dissipating this magic, I'm going to have to wait till morning, but to be honest with you, I'm quite tired. So perhaps that would be
Yeah.
for the best anyway.
I'm practically spent too. I could use some sleep. Let's go find Owen and Saren and him.
He nods and they head back.
During this time, while they're messing about with the interior-exterior, Snake and Junior, I don't know why I picked real name versus character name there.
I didn't even notice.
Owen and Durf, if you'd like to do anything.
Oh God.
Only the juniors walked up northward and sat down on the floor with his back against the wall of the cabin.
How far
The two
north are we
spaces above
talking?
him.
Oh, just 2 spaces? Right, at the door.
Oh, like on the other, 2 spaces from the right of Owen.
Oh, I see.
Oda would not be there once Sildan and Frigg went to investigate. He would have went the opposite direction.
Up around the house, or?
Yeah, basically distracting his mind by trying to size up the vines, trying to figure out a way through.
There. Doing like a little perimeter search around the north side of it, then you can't seem to see any clear gap in the vines that might be a way through.
I'm able to do some sort of check to get any more information.
You could try an Arcana check yourself if you wanted to.
Excellent, that one.
These Arcana checks great.
Yep. Have a +9.
Yeah.
I mean, it is good that if it's not actually a combat roll, then it's not actually like a guaranteed fail on that ones. But with a 10, you can discern that they're possibly transmutation music. If not, then I can't remember the name of the other one, but another type of magic that I will look up for you while I speak.
I just like seeing there's the cat's out of the bag, or the wolf's out of the magic, I suppose. I'm going to use the last of my incense, my
Enchantment.
last spell slot, to summon my wolf.
Using the incense out of your bag, you say, yeah?
Yeah, the last of it.
Cool. So, ritually casting, 10 minutes, so you are, I know you're just doing it, aren't you? So, how long is the spell cast time?
I don't know, actually. Let me look it up.
I'll race ya.
One hour.
Gonna be a while.
Okay, well, maybe he doesn't do that. I imagine people are moving on soon. But when he gets a chance, if we're all presumably looking for a place to set up for the night, as everyone's pretty beat and tired, first chance he gets.
Alright. Seren will have a look about the interior a bit more, and make an investigation check to see if they can find anything that might allude to why her father's come through this way, that sort of thing, but with a roll of a 10, can't really find anything, fortunately. Man, crap rolls all around, eh?
Yeah. I
Hey,
guess so. Oh, sorry.
hold on. We didn't think to dig under it to see if it goes down. Is it worth a
That's
shot?
true. Could be. I don't have a shovel though, so I could use that rest before I go digging.
Cool.
Unless
Just a thought. Don't think I've got anything that would do anything useful either.
he. All right, in the morning then. He will probably go around, looking for the various party members and letting them know that we're gonna bunk down for the night unless anyone's able to come up with a way out of here now. And we'll be using the cabin for shelter.
Sounds good.
Assuming nobody has any grand plans that get them out of here now, yeah, he's gonna go inside and start getting get his stuff out, his bedroll and stuff.
Junior goes to collect the horses and brings them back. Ties
Are
them
they
outside
in
somewhere.
the dome?
Come again, Dave?
Are they in the dome?
They were tied up just outside of it, I believe.
Oh.
They're gonna be hungry or dead.
You left food with them, I'll say.
Oh, okay, great.
There's grass everywhere. I'm sure they'll be fine.
There is an abundance of grass everywhere in the forest, so...
Do horses eat grass? I don't know. Funny Saren was here to tell us.
Is there wood in this
forest?
Fire pit? No,
Oh.
the fire pit here inside.
There is some mostly burned remains of a once lit fire there, but there's plenty of wood inside this lumber camp. So, I mean, I'll probably grab
Decided or
some.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
People to. Okay. Yeah. So he'll spend a few minutes getting some wood in there, and then press the digitation. It just lights up. They have a small fire.
Who, that might have been me. I just made it daytime, I think. I didn't mean to do that.
Wow,
So
that's
let
a
me
bright fire.
Flashbang through the door. Very good.
Yeah. So we've got that, and then let's also just over in this corner here somewhere, like out of the way of where the group's hunkering down, but good enough to be. We'll just cast light.
Where is, sorry?
Just somewhere over down in this corner, like essentially where the group's not hunkering down, just so that's not like blindingly bright, but it's comfortable enough for us, right? So
I'll place it on that box there.
sure. So
Well, that
basically,
gets the corner.
the room is comfortably lit and should be decently heated once this burns for a little bit.
There's a slight draft over in that corner, given the, shattered window. Other than that,
Yeah.
it's a lot better than the times you've slept outside, that's for sure.
Fair enough. And I'm going to spend 11 minutes over here. 20-foot cube, so basically I can get the door and the window. And I'm going to cast Alarm.
Ooh.
That'll be one, a mental ping in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone won't set off the alarm in our party except for Junior. Junior's
Oh.
coming and goings in that alarm square absolutely will. Of course, he won't know that, but just
Junior's got his head down and walks past everyone. You can open this door where that little man is, and closes it behind him as he enters. I think I'm bunkered with you tonight, mate.
Okay. You can have the top of the table. Stand here.
You got it. Junior sits in the corner and then they summon in as well.
All right. He mostly leaves you alone. He has had enough of magic for probably the rest of his life. So he's not going to get involved as you go about for summoning ritual for the next hour.
Cool.
You find anything, Owen?
A lot of vines.
Yeah, same here.
Getting the
Go ahead.
getting the impression that whatever is keeping them up there is not what we fought.
It's not what I wanted to hear today. Darren, I take it you haven't seen anything like this before?
No, not to my knowledge.
So this has nothing to do with what's attacking your family?
I mean, it's mostly just been orcs and the likes. We've never had anything that's at this extreme before.
Works like the one we fought. God, was that today?
Yes.
Fridge is gonna slide down the wall so they sat underneath the window. I swear, if one more thing happens today, I quit.
Roll initiative. No.
As Flint Boulder Shoulder jumps through the window above your head.
Oh my god. Well, then all we have to do is close our eyes and we'll be in a new day.
We should. How long has he even had that stuff?
Oh, you mean him?
Yeah. I mean, I've got a 3rd level left. I could burn a tiny hut. It'd see us through till morning. We'd know at least he wasn't coming in.
Couldn't hurt.
You might have to get a bit closer though. I'm not quite sure what the range is. 2 seconds. 10 foot square from me, so I'd have to move. Probably the best place would be where Seldan is at the minute, and we could all crowd in.
Sounds good to me.
There we go. And Virgil cast Leomund's tiny hut, so that would last 8 hours and hopefully just enough to get a good rest in. And nothing can come in, but the party members in the hut can come and go at will, as they have been designated, I believe.
So no access for Junior.
No access to Junior or the brother of Harbin.
Tybor Wester. Yeah.
That one. In fact, it might actually be blocking the door shut, which isn't intentional when I cast it, but now thinking about it, Fridge may have done that intentionally.
Cool. Give us just a second, guys. I'll be right back. Won't be just a minute.
And everyone goes to sleep. And we're going to roleplay the full 8 hours.
Listen to our ASMR 8-hour live stream.
You.
I concur.
Oh, come on, pizza guy. This would be perfect. Perfect time for him to show up is when Leo stepped out.
I thought you meant Leo had stepped out for pizza. Now I want pizza.
No, maybe. I don't know what he's doing, but
Come
I
back to
got a pizza coming.
And I really want pizza
Shit.
now.
I got a pizza coming, so you were gone, and I was like, come on, pizza guy, ring my doorbell now while the GM's gone, and then I could just, grab it, and it's like I never left.
Maybe it's while you're asleep.
Yeah.
Thank you all for your patience. I am back. We can continue.
I think we're all going to sleep.
Yeah, I guess we just get a long rest in.
Alright. Come on, pizza guy. Come through the door. Do it for Shay. Also, I'm going to order a pizza.
Oh man.
Cool.
Everybody getting pizza now? How do I?
Will there be anyone taking watch during this period of rest? Why do I not have the Domino's app on my phone? I do.
Fridge can't leave the dome, but would be fine to like patrol the edges of the dome.
Yeah, and you can see through it as well,
Yeah.
which is fine. So, first watch, Fridge.
Seldan can also do it at some point. He doesn't need as long as everyone else.
Go ahead and make me a perception check for the first 2 hours of this watch.
Decent roll of the night. How wonderful. 15.
15. Alright. The first hour of your watch, you hear mutterings and murmurs from the room that Junior is in, and then at the climax of the hour, you hear.
Fridge will
That's,
let out a string of cuss words at that point.
Junior, is there anything you wanted to do immediately after the dog had been resummoned?
No, I just wanted it.
Cool.
I think he kills up behind Junior's head and uses him as a pillow.
Cool. And then the second half seems to go off without a hitch. Whom are you waking?
I believe it's Sildan.
Ah, I just realized what those two rolls were. Yes, cool. Thank you, Sildan.
Yeah.
Cool. If you could now make me a perception check for your 2 hours of the watch.
Sure. Oh no, that's fine. Couldn't get that on the second roll. 23 total.
Very good. Seemingly motionless for most of your watch, you do hear what sounds like an animal call at one point, and you look out and you don't notice anything. Looking out through the door, and you hear the call again, and it's the horses, but it's not like startled call or anything. They just seem to be settling down for the night themselves. And having put your mind to rest, your watch comes to a close. Whom are you waking for the third of fourth watch? Well, it's worth noting as well at this point, Theron's completed their long rest, because they, like you, only need 4 hours.
Yeah. Did we have an order? If we didn't,
No.
I'll just, Saren, because Saren is fine now.
Cool. Makes the most sense. Could you please roll me a perception for Saren?
16.
All is good. Nothing really to report. The steady sound of the stream and the fire slowly dying down, or they add a little bit more wood to it just to keep it going and burning. Not much else to say. Fourth and final.
Can Sildan take
well-
it again if she's all good and doesn't need to sleep?
You can.
Wait. Sorry. Say that again.
Fourth and final watch.
I mean, these two are humans, right? They need their sleep.
So I
And
mean, it
Fridge-
could be both you and Saren at this point.
Yeah, that's true. I guess we just can, because Fridge has already taken a watch. And Owen kind of got his trust betrayed again. He needs his rest.
He's very grumpy.
Yeah. So I'll just do that. Saren will just do that. 13 and 10 respectively. The last watch.
You, about 30 minutes to an hour into your watch, you hear a similar plant-like movement coming outside from the location that you know the arch spore to be.
Okay, I hate that. We're certainly going to go and investigate. Rather, at first, Sildan will go to the window. Can I see anything out there?
As you stumble up towards the window, I guess it wouldn't even be stumble. You're not tired at all.
I'll have you know I move with grace and poise, sir.
Yes, you saunter gracefully up towards the window, and with a peer looking through with somewhat of a regality to yourself, you spot that the arch spore outside appears to be slowly but surely before your eyes shrinking in size, and as it does, bits of it seem to float up into the air and then disappear into nothingness as it appears to be disintegrating.
Oh, good. If I look past the arch spore, do the walls seem to be disintegrating in kind? The vine walls?
They do not.
Oh. Okay. Well, Sildan's gonna pretty much keep his eye on that arch spore as the others finish their sleep.
Cool. So for the remaining hour and a half, you watch the arch spore as it slowly but surely whittles down to the last remains of itself and then dissipates into the air around you until not a single bit of it remains, but a hole in the ground where its roots once were.
What about all the spores and everything like that? Are they still out there?
The pods and the spore creatures still remain, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that should be it.
You waiting on me, or?
Yeah, I mean, once the once that watch is done, I suppose we'll gently wake our other party members, so we can keep looking for a way out.
And so one by one, you all awaken. In the room, the fire mostly died out now, though still kept to a steady pace by the two elves here. Junior, you would hear rustling from the other room and whispered tones as everyone is awoken slowly but surely. Looking out the window, if any of you are doing so, you would see little bits of sunlight peeking through cracks at the top of the dome, allowing light to come through into this area.
Ah, bright light, bright light.
Well, let's not go that far.
Are you sure we can't cancel today? I don't think I feel like doing today. Can we just reschedule today for tomorrow?
Let's see. I'll walk over to the nearest window and look out. Is the dome still there?
It is.
Yeah, today's canceled. I'll go and plop back down.
Fridge will just roll back over in the bedroll, snuggle down a bit, and go, great, great, great. And shut their eyes again.
You guys just gonna sleep until the dome disappears?
Junior opens the door at this point, but like because it's going to be stuck, right?
No, the dome would have vanished by now.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Junior's out there now too.
Sildan's got a bit of a bemused expression when they, just kind of ignore that. So he'll walk past. He's gonna at least try and figure it out.
Morning, campers. Still grumpy?
No response from Fridge.
We. Go ahead.
Junior, maybe you can come with me and help us find a way out.
Sure thing. The pup runs between Junior's legs at this point and runs out the front door before him. And then is going to follow Sildan.
Cool. I assume I can pet the dog, so Sildan does so.
Achievement
Yeah, he's like
Inform
jumping
that.
up on you.
I need to inform that Twitter account that in Dragon's Breath, Storm's Edge, you can pet the dog.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess Sildan and Junior will go off and try to find a way out of the vines.
Are you gonna help him, Junior? Or-
Oh yeah, Junior follows. Fine.
Yeah, but are you gonna assist him with the...
Oh yeah, of course. Any way he can. I don't know how well Junior's going to be much of help, but
Make a
yeah.
Arcana check with advantage then, Sildan. You so please.
Sure. 18 this time.
You get the sense that this is indeed enchantment magic. The duration of the spell can last anywhere from a few hours to a few days. It is impervious to most forms of damage, and it could be dispelled with a dispel magic, though.
Okay.
And this is
To
known as...
most forms of damage, can we burn it magically?
Good try.
Okay.
You think you've read about this spell somewhere before as Leo's magical vines.
Got it.
Of railroading.
As they're studying it together, Sildan will turn to Junior. Well, it seems like you may have made a bit of a mistake this time,
Well, they'll forgive me. They always do.
I don't know if I'd push that.
No, I didn't expect that reaction from them. It was just a bit of black inkery stuff. Just wanted my swords back. They're important to me.
That's fair enough. Far be it from me to dictate to people what's important in terms of possessions, but well, as somebody who studies magic, I should caution against thinking anything is just Icar. Said it had a creature tied to it? Some sort of being with a name?
Oh yeah, you read books and stuff, right? His name's Sirik.
Oh, yeah.
Had you ever heard of that entity or god or person? I don't know.
I don't know. I got some knowledge history. Have I ever heard of it?
I think you were the one that did the previous check, were you not?
Oh, did I?
On
I don't know.
Cyric. Or was that Owen?
I don't know if we ever did we?
Oh, there's my pizza.
Yeah.
I don't know if we ever did, but I'm willing to roll if allowed when I get back. I'll just be 2 minutes.
Mhm. Meanwhile, back in the cabin, maybe.
Meanwhile, back in the cabin, maybe. Come on, guys, throw us a bone.
Sorry,
You know
I'm
what
just
I-
chewing myself. Yeah, come on.
You know what I hate?
What's that?
People who touch my things.
Yeah,
You know what I hate
Yeah.
more than that?
people who lie.
Well, no, I do that. But people who make me touch piss.
Yeah, that one's fair too.
This is... I'm beginning to lose count. How many times is this him jeopardizing the group?
I don't know. Too many? Apparently killing us wasn't enough.
If I thought that he was doing it on purpose, this would be easy.
That's the thing, isn't it, Owen? He did this on purpose. If it was this entity, if it was this magical person, they wouldn't piss in the bottle, they'd leave it empty for you to find. He knew what he was doing this time, and he did it anyway.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And that's supposed to be my blood? My flesh and blood? I don't want it.
Look, I don't... I'm the last person to weigh in on family matters. And besides, he's a newly acquired kin. But he's not... When did I become the responsible? He's not... It doesn't seem to be malicious. His screw-ups.
Point when you learn. I mean, he's older than me, for Christ's sakes. He must know that, right?
God, how old is he?
20-something, I think.
Well, before I met all of you, we were back in Neverwinter. And, let's just say I was convinced that I was the one responsible for everything that happened to the kid.
I'm back.
Well, I said.
Yeah. Their brother.
Is that your fault? This was her father's doing, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, no, it's totally all him, but I thought it was my fault. I might have been drinking, and I let some things slip. Thought it was my fault. Turns out it's her dad that's the, well, you know what he is. Point is, it took me a long time to own up to that. To own up to the kind of person I had become. The person I was, I guess, to a degree, the person I am. Trying to move past it. I'm 33.
I don't think any of us would survive another 10 years of him being like this.
Yeah, he's gonna have to learn quick, but could be worse.
Don't jinx that. We don't need that. But thanks. And Fridge will get up and offer Owen a hand to get up as well.
I'll
We may,
take
as
it.
well, we may as well give him a hand out there.
I still haven't figured out how I'm going to get him back yet.
Oh, it better be good, and it better be nasty.
I can work with that.
I guess
Go
we'll
on.
go join them.
Yeah, when I'll head for the door. We'll wake Saren up from her fugue state.
Sorry, I'm just so lost in thought. It's like I'm elsewhere right now. Meanwhile, at the border wall,
Hello.
I'm also... I made a realization as Owen was saying those lines. Durf, you have a thing about pissing on stuff, don't you?
Wait, what?
The silence says it all.
TV, dinner.
Oh, that
Water.
I was a teenager.
I mean, this is...
Sorry.
Two's a
Oh, it's just-
coincidence, but three... inside joke,
I
sorry.
just slept walk when I was a teenager and whatever.
Pizza's delicious. And also,
Oh,
did we ever
shit,
figure out...
sorry.
Can I make a roll?
Yes, you can, with advantage. Oh, no, you did already, right? With the Arcana check.
No.
The history check, right?
Oh, for Cyric. Yeah, Snake, did you previously do the previous Cyric roll? What was that Shay?
I don't recall ever making one. I don't.
Neither do I.
Well, someone did. 'Cause that's how you found out it was Cyric, right?
No, he just told me in the coma
but-
toast.
At that moment, someone made a roll. I remember.
Was it me?
Possibly. I don't think it would have been you though, because you wouldn't have much knowledge of religion, right? So,
Well, it either
Is it
had
a
to be me or
check?
Owen because no one else was there.
oh, then I guess it would have been
Yeah.
Owen. In which case,
From this whole
feel free, Shay.
Sarek thing. Okay, sorry. Did you just say it was a religion check?
Yes.
Okay, with advantage?
No, not with advantage. I thought you were doing the whole wall thing again.
Ah, okay. 24.
Who
Where
needs
were these rolls
advantage?
yesterday?
You needed a rest. You were tired. It was a long day's travel and then a big fight. It makes sense. 23. Sorry, 24. Not wearing my glasses. Oh boy. Time for lore dump.
As a matter of fact, in my book reading, I believe I have come across this Sarek, and my knowledge on that is forthcoming. One moment.
I know nothing. I know that I know nothing. Therefore I know. But in regards to Cyric, known as Sir oh Jesus Christ. What how would you Cyric, known as Sir Hivaz Tizangpu. I mean I mean, you guys tell me how the fuck you pronounce that. By his Ugari worshippers, and as Tsar by the Bedine. He's a bit of a maniacal god of any, known mostly to be a trickster by those who worship him, but to those not so lucky to worship Cyric, a bane one who brings plight and trickery. He's not the nicest god, pronounced GF.
Okay. That's
So
the
why the interest in me? I didn't do anything. Just woke up in Novengard and he. Ugh. I fucked up, haven't I, still then?
With
perhaps just a little bit.
Sorry, also with that high of a roll, you would have known that one of Cyric's previous champions, not too long back, maybe 20 years prior to the start of the campaign, he attempted to steal the Ring of Winter from a powerful tribe of frost giants north of here in the land of Frost Maiden. When his champion failed to do that, he went missing and hadn't been seen, and many of Cyric's followers thought that Cyric had been slain.
Okay. I'll keep that to myself for the moment.
Yeah.
When Junior says that, yeah, he'll just go, oh, maybe just a bit, but I wouldn't worry so much about that. It's what we do going forward. Every day that counts.
It's just without my swords, I'm nothing. I need them so that I can protect them. They've been my craft since I was a young boy. I can't be without them. I'm nothing.
Those
I mean, you've seen
swords
the way
speak
that I
quickly.
protect Fridge. I can protect Fridge as long as I've got my swords. And now they're all mad at me. Should I buy her some coffee or something? Do you think that will help out?
Well, it couldn't hurt, but I think an honest discussion and telling them what you just told me might do a bit to help.
Speaking of which, it's at about this time that the Fridge and Owen are making their way over.
Anyway, final thought as I see they're approaching. You might want to sprinkle in a little more self-deprecation, champ.
What, like, that I'm not as pretty as I think I am? Ridiculous.
Well, it's just that when you're so cocksure, Fridge doesn't seem to appreciate that. Oh, hello, Fridge! Yes! Owen, hi! And I guess that's where they get cut off.
What do you got?
Well, I was quite stumped on it, but Junior here had reminded me of something I had forgotten, which I believe cracked it. It's a spell we're dealing with. And he goes on to describe Leo's plotification. And basically says, they can... he can have anyone who can try dispelling can have another go at it, or we can wait it out, which could be hours or days. Days which we might not have.
Irks me right now so bad is that I can hear how much you're enjoying that pizza, and I want it so bad.
It's so good.
I can tell.
What toppings you go for?
Oh, I'm a basic bitch. I got cheese pizza.
Same.
Got some garlic dip, though.
Oh, my dog is currently barking. You know what that means?
Dude, I swear down, did you get pizza too?
Yes! I told you I was gonna.
Oh.
Shay ordered
The poor
pizza,
man.
so I wanted pizza. I mean, if you can get here, there's some here.
You know I could.
I know. That's why I said it.
tires screeching in the background.
I mean, basically, yeah.
Dave is all, let me just go get something from my
Yeah.
car.
I'm gonna be back real quick.
But for real though, I'm gonna be back real quick while I go get my pizza.
Sure.
It's my turn.
While he's doing that, is there any way actually out right now? Or is it just we are kind of stuck at the minute?
Didn't you say we can dispel magic?
Only
Yeah,
Did I get that wrong?
I can try rolling high enough. Do any of you guys have Dispel Magic, or?
No.
I do not.
Fuck. Okay. So I get 2 tries per long rest, per day, basically. You can only do 1 long rest in 24 hours, so.
Can you? I
I
didn't
can-
know that.
Yep. 1 long rest per 24-hour period.
I'm back, the last of the distractions. But what a good way to send off the last episode of Dragon's Breath for 2021.
Oh, sure.
I had pizza yesterday.
To celebrate Dragon's Breath, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful.
I'm getting pizza tomorrow if it kills me.
To celebrate Dragon's Breath, right?
100%.
Death?
I tell ya, by the time I'm done having this garlic dip, there'll be some dragon's breath, all right.
Oh,
Oh, as we were. Oh, that's all.
We've basically determined that we can either wait, we can maybe try attacking with, like, sword and fiery sorcery, or I can cast Dispel Magic twice in a 24-hour period, basically. So I have 2 castings of Dispel Magic if people want me to try again.
have we tried my digging suggestion? Can we go
Oh,
under
we
this
haven't.
thing? Fridge will pull out. Let me check. I mean, I'll take it at the minute. Fridge will take out this wooden stake and start just tapping away at the base of the vine, see if it looks like it goes deep or if it goes all the way down, or if it just cuts off at the ground level.
After maybe 5 minutes of going into the soil, it does seem to continue onwards with roots as opposed to vines.
Have we found
It's a
anything
good idea,
else
though.
in the space of this dome, or is it literally just this hut? How big is the dome? Like, what's the circumference, radius, whatever?
I think it was 50 feet radius from the creature, but then I ended up making it a little bit bigger to accommodate the house on one side and then shortening it on the other side. So let me get the wall stuff up and I shall measure for you. With un ruler. That is not a ruler, but whatever that says on there, I can't quite read it because I'm zoomed out.
I cannot see it, whatever it is.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I can now.
200 feet, roughly. From end to end.
I think yours might be the only option then, Sildan. I don't have anything else. I mean, we tried the fire, we tried to spell in magic, we tried digging our way through it physically. I don't know what else we can do.
He nods. Oh. Actually, first, little bit of... Oh, well, no, you tried fire.
I tried regular fire. I didn't try magic fire.
All right, then. Oh. Do you have magic fire, Owen?
A fairy fire?
Fuck. That doesn't count, does it?
No,
I think
it's
that just-
not even prepared.
Oh, okay. I was trying to spread around what we do.
Have acid.
That could work.
Yeah, give it a
What, you
give it a
guys just
try.
gonna have a
Might
trip?
Oh,
Yes.
wait, yeah, what kind of acid?
I have a
Bridge that to you. Although who better than teenagers? Anyway,
I
A
would like
couple of
to
ideas.
see Junior try and stop Bridge at this point.
What are they, Owen?
Well, first, I'll kneel down next to one of the spore creatures. Does it look safe to touch?
There's only one way to find out.
What the hell? Owen will pick one up. Holding his breath, granted, until he's certain that moving it won't cause any sort of spore explosion.
Seems whatever spores it did have either wilted away as it died or dissipated overnight. You can't tell.
Oh, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. Owen is going to start walking over to the edge of the vine. And once there, he's going to basically thrust the creature against it to see if there's any change. See if it opens for it.
Why did I know that was sort of coming? I sort of played it out in those sort of YouTube animatic styles in my head of Owen just like walking up to it and then just throwing the creature at the wall.
Yep.
With a splat, and then it goes.
Yeah, and then it slides down.
yeah.
And that's essentially what happens as you put the creature up to the wall. It doesn't seem to interact with it in any way.
All right, plan B. Owen will cast Tasha's Caustic Brew.
What does that do?
A stream of acid, 30 feet long, 5 feet wide, of stew. The acid damage, I don't know if it matters. 2 damage.
Oh, that's perfect. Do it like point blankish.
Yeah. I'll basically cast the stream as... I'll try to get as much as I can, and it lasts for, oh god. Concentration up to a minute, so full 60 seconds of continuous acid damage. Unless the vine somehow scrape or wash the acid away.
Sorry, mouthful of pizza. So, as you cast a pizza down,
Rubbing it in at this point, isn't he?
yeah, just really enjoying my pizza that I'm having. That
Mate, fuck
you
you.
haven't. That I've got pizza that I ordered pizza from. As you cast Tasha's Caustic Brew, doing the similar incantation that you used to and letting out a stream of continuous constant acid. At first, it doesn't seem to really do much to the vines. And about partway through your casting, you ease off for a split second to see the results of your work for the past about a minute or so. And you see that it has had an effect on the vines, and given another maybe few minutes of the casting of this, probably get a hole through there.
Is it regenerating or no?
Doesn't appear to be right now.
Okay, great. Well, when Owen he does the continuous stream and it looks like he's I guess near the end of his stream or like making good headway but running out, I'm gonna try and nudge it along with chromatic orb.
Get to clarify, it's an action. like the acid, the stream is an
Oh,
action.
you just
and
do
then
it once. You go, and then
Yeah.
it just sits there being acid for 60 seconds. Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Oh, right. Apologies.
Well,
So yeah,
anyway, it
after a
burns away
minute
at
of the acid burning away, there appears to be some of the vines are no longer intertwined and connected to one another, and damage has been made in progress through the wall.
Can we see
That's
through to the other
perfect.
side? Sorry.
No, that's okay.
There's definitely more light and a breeze coming through now, but you couldn't like fit a hand through or anything, if that's what you were aiming for.
No, I just wanted to see if we could physically see the outside.
Probably, I'd wait until the very end of the spell though to not get acid on your face. But
Yeah.
roll a perception check if you want to have a
I
gander.
just want to see if there's anything out there, like on the other side, that we could see that could be casting it or anything.
Oh, yeah, good thought. Roll a perception check.
Thank you. God,
Ah, the acid, it burns! I
Virgil
told you
reel
not to go
away.
too soon.
trying to get it off their face.
That is unfortunate.
That night is unfortunate.
Fridge has had a day.
Oh yeah.
Dave is the one who needs pizza more than any of us. Oh, and then I believe you were going to follow up with chromatic orb, right?
Yeah, the whole 60 seconds thing that it's eaten away at it, that gives the perfect time to confer with Owen and see if he should I hit it with acid myself or fire? Because on the one hand, we know the acid works, but on the other hand, fire against vines.
As logical as that is, we're in a forest. I would strongly discourage casting any sort of flame here. Although it could be funny. Saren might not appreciate it.
I could avoid the fire. That would be ever so great.
Okay, chromatic orb of acid it is. Do I have to roll to hit the wall?
No, that's a fucking wall. I'll let you hit a wall.
Cool. So I'll just mark this off my sheet and do the damage.
For humor's sake, though, could you roll for me? What I will say is, if you get a nat 1, you are spraying Fridge.
Fridge is like halfway across the camp.
Yeah, shit, I don't want to spray Fridge. We just had a whole nice little interaction. That would be terrible.
Oh, non-canonly, just like my humor.
Ah. Well, today is not that day.
It is
But I
not.
do 9 acid damage to, as my 4-inch diameter sphere of acid hits it.
Is this just a instantaneous thing, or does the acid linger?
Yeah.
Okay,
No, it's
cool.
an instantaneous cast. It's just like a...
Yeah, so with this blast of acid, you see the structural integrity of this concentrated point that you've been focusing on begins to crumble away, and bits of iron start falling until there's about a door-sized hole now in the vine exterior.
Oh, it's a door-sized hole?
Yes.
Great. Good thinking. Dispel magic is a little bit harder to cast, so
Yeah, I
we
can.
got through that just with acid.
I didn't even, I'm going to do it anyway. I was going to sidestep a bit to the left to find a new patch of vine, and he's going to cast Frostbite on it.
For my sake, can you remind me the effects of frostbite?
A numbing frost forms on it, and it can't. It has to make a con save, and if it fails, it. Oh wait, I guess if it can make the save, it'll. It won't take any damage.
And if it can't?
If it can't, it just takes a little damage. The idea though is to freeze this thing enough. I would cast it a bunch of times. It's a cantrip, so I would just cast it until it's frozen pretty good, and then I would try to punch it.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to see if there was any additional effect I needed to be aware of, that's all. You are easily able to freeze this over like an ice pop. Go ahead and roll for punch. This piece is just so good. And with a crack as the thunder sparks out from the gauntlet as you impact the wall, the ice shatters through the other side of it into a mist of snow that then falls to the ground and then begins melting away. You have created a punch-sized hole in the vines.
Good to know. Hey, we opened a door. Ish.
Great. Anyone want to walk through first? I'm not risking that again. Got my eyebrows singed off.
Rock, please.
Sure. Unless, I mean, it was Owen's idea. Would you like to do the honors, or?
Don't mind if I do. Owen will do a faux bow as he steps through.
And Sildan comes following after.
That's where we're going to call it for the end of tonight's episode. Because everything beyond the vine wall is Seren stuff, which is why I tried to make the wall hard to go through, but you guys did what your characters would do, which is want to get out, so I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
We got shit to do.
Yeah, it's fair. I wasn't gonna just DM hold you there. If your characters wanted to move on, then, you know, so be it. Means it's a little bit of a shorter one, but, yeah. This is the last one of 2021. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone for joining in with Dragon's Breath. It's been a trip, a journey, and I think I realized a lot of how much of that journey was with this Junior and Fridge moment here. Just because, like, that line that I gave you a point of inspiration for, if this was day one of the adventure and you'd done that line, probably wouldn't mean anywhere near as much as it does having gone through, I think, 14, 15 episodes that we've gone through with this. So I just want to say a huge thank you to you guys for making Dragon's Breath what it has been.
Thank you for running.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity, yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to continuing this in the new year. If anyone else would like to say a bit for the final bit of the year, feel free.
Hope you all enjoyed watching.
To see you next
Join
year.
us in 2022 for Junior and Friends.
Junior and friends.
Has he got any now?
Oh! Shots fired.
Yes, swish and swash.
Oh, novel.
Henceforth known as Lonely and Lonelier.
And a dog that is bound by servitude.
Has to be the.
Yeah.
You're required to be my friend.
Also, Shay, you too. I mean, it's good. It's good. I'm gonna say this for the sake of the VOD. So Jeff, please keep this in, because it is good. Coming out of the cage, having gotten rid of some vines, gotta get down, because you want it all. It was only acid. It was only acid. Really, guys? Really?
I was picking up what he was putting down.
Yeah, and I picked up what both of you put down.
Wish you had both left it there.
Hey Jeff, when you edit this VOD for the YouTube, cut it right as Snake said. I wish you'd both left it there. Thanks, Jeff. Anyway, thank you everyone. It's been a pleasure. And until next year, don't go rolling no ones. Have a good night, everybody.